The Oregon Institute of Technology is a major player in the history and future of geothermal energy, and home to world-class expertise in this promising industry.
My daughter's wedding happened last Saturday. I have no voice left.
Oh, well, congratulations on that. That's
and no money left. That is different. I'm Nagi Naganathan. I have the honor of serving as the president of Oregon Institute of Technology, or Oregon Tech. Oregon Tech has a unique accomplishment in terms of having created the first baccalaureate degree in renewable energy engineering in the United States. First of all, we are blessed with a local asset. We have great hydrothermal underground. This very campus, this was relocated here because of the geothermal assets here. The first president saw the snow melting much more quickly on this side of town. And of course, they had the technology at the time to look at geothermal, and they discovered this is a great place to have that. And in some ways, the ethos of the place is driven by renewable energy.
Yeah, I was a retired professor from Oregon Institute of Technology, spent 53 years here as professor, dean, and department chair.
And you're an expert in what?
I guess geothermal energy. Well, I'm a civil engineer by training. So originally I built roads with volcanic materials, pumice, cinders, that sort of thing up in the Wainema National Forest. And then I became interested in geothermal. So I became, I guess, a worldwide expert because I've lectured in 45 countries on geothermal energy, given training, have friends all over the world. Geothermal energy is heat within the earth, caused by the molten core of the earth radiating heat outward and into the mantle, and then we drill into the surface to get some of that heat. Unfortunately, it's not evenly distributed at shallow depths around the world, so only certain places is it economical to tap into it and use it for power, for space heating, or even cooling. It is renewable, providing you don't overtax the resource. It doesn't create any pollution, or very little, if any. In Klamath Falls, there are about 600 geothermal wells, and they all pointed up in this direction. Winston Purvine, the first president, decided there must be geothermal up here. So he took a chance and drilled several wells and actually hit 192-degree water.
So we're going to go up to the top of the campus where the heat exchange building is, and that's where our geothermal heating wells are. And the heat exchange building is where basically the geothermal system starts that heats the entire campus. So the campus is made up of 17 buildings that are 100% heated by geothermal.
The campus saves $1 million a year in heating costs.
The construction started in the mid-60s. So the geothermal system is close to 60 years old. Okay, so we're at the top of the campus on the east side, and this is where the geothermal system starts for the campus. So we have two primary heating wells. Those two wells feed the heat exchange building, which is right here, that has a storage tank in it. The heat exchange building sends the water to the campus. That heats approximately 700,000 square feet of buildings. The water comes up from the wells at between 196 and 198 degrees. By the time it gets through the last building, the water still is about 70 degrees when it leaves that building and goes to the injection well. So all our water that we pull out of the ground goes through the campus and then back into the same aquifer in the injection well. So it's a continuous loop. It's not sent down the storm drain or anything like that.
So in other words, you recycle all of the water that's used in the system.
Yep, and it goes back into the aquifer, gets reheated, and works its way back up to the production wells.
And originally here on campus, we disposed it into a creek that ran down into the lake. Well, the homeowners down below didn't like all that heat coming down there. So we drilled an injection well. So therefore, if you produce, you have to use an injection well.
Oregon Tech recently received $18 million in funding from legislation to renovate our geothermal heating system. And so this system has been heating the campus for 60 plus years. And so this funding will help us renovate that system and get another 50 to 60 years.
So this design that we're about to see in here is pretty much what was put in 60 years ago.
Yep, this is original.
So we're kind of seeing like the last legs of this current design.
And it'll be noticeably different.
Wow,
So
okay.
the layout of the building, the geothermal heating is on this side. This is the current storage tank. This will be replaced with a new tank that will be located outside of the building, 4 times larger. If our well goes down, we'll have more storage that'll allow us to get the well back up and running before we run out of hot water. This is 6,000 gallons. Our new tank will be 24,000 gallons. Wow. This side is a geothermal power plant. So the hottest water goes to the power plant, and then once it circulates through the power plant, then it goes to the storage tank and then to the campus. We are currently looking at upgrading this to a new and more modern system, more of a modern teaching tool for our students.
This is not just a utility interest. To us, it is an educational and innovation platform. So our hope is as we develop these technologies, our students will have an immersive learning experience working with the actual geothermal power plant. They are not just reading the theory of it, they are getting to practice it and see how it is working.
Yeah, I have a geothermal well in my front yard.
Do you now?
Yeah, that heats our house and the neighbor's house. It's 190 degrees, and it's only 410 feet deep. And we don't pump the water out of the well. We use what's called a downhole heat exchanger, just a loop of pipe in the well that we circulate city water through, and that then goes in and heats the house and our domestic hot water and my hot tub in the backyard. Geothermal, if, for example, in town here, they have drilled wells in one part of town and piped it to another part of town. They were actually able to pipe it up to Klamath Union High School. So it can be piped. In Iceland, it's been piped probably 50 or 60 miles from where their geothermal field is to the town of Akureyri. But the reason they could do it, because it came out at 100 degrees Celsius, and all they needed was 80 degrees Celsius in town. So they lost 20 degrees, but they had the pipeline above ground buried under earth bank. Okay, so they lost 20 degrees, but 80 degrees was still enough to heat the town of Akureyri. So it was beneficial there.
More geothermal development in Klamath County is very exciting. We have a lot of it already. I don't know if you're aware, but if you were to walk down Main Street during the winter, the sidewalks don't have snow on them because they're all geothermally heated. Many of the homes and buildings, including this one, are geothermally heated. We save a lot of money on different types of energy in that way. Oregon Tech has a huge geothermal program, and as I understand it, they're doing a lot of research on how to make that more large scale. How do you develop power on a large scale with geothermal energy? Those are the things that get me excited right now.
Energy will always be a mixed portfolio. Klamath Falls is blessed with great geothermal assets underground. It is also blessed with a lot of sunshine. We are the sunniest city in the state of Oregon with 300 days of sunshine. That probably provides 1/3 of the campus power needs. And when we begin to develop our geothermal power plant, which needs an incremental investment, we expect to really go towards being completely off the grid in the near future.
So this is the newest building on campus, the SEAT building, or Center of Excellence in Engineering Technology. And then part of the design we're going to look at right now is the main mechanical room for the building. Typically, mechanical rooms are hidden in a dark corner of a basement or someplace that nobody ever sees except facilities. Because of our geothermal resources, we wanted to highlight this as a teaching tool. You can see the heat exchangers. This is where heat is taken out of the geothermal water, provides heat to the domestic water.
It's what caught our eye as soon as we came in here, because we came in right through those doors and just were kind of wandering around. We were here a bit early and this immediately caught our eye and we're like, well, there you go. It's right here.
Yep,
It's
right
really
there.
pretty cool.
Once you developed it, the annual operating costs are low. The trouble is the upfront cost of actually developing the system is the problem. And if you have to drill deep wells, if you have certain contaminants in the water, then that can create problems. But once you solve those, then you're home free, essentially.
Geothermal is a little different than solar, where basically the sun shines everywhere. But geothermal hot water is only available in very specific areas.
Geothermal energy can be tapped naturally in some places, but not all places, primarily in the state of Oregon, Klamath County and Lake County, which have done that, which are tapping it. Again, it's not going to be every place, but where you have that capacity could be a terrific thing for us to tap and use.
Personally, I'm very optimistic about geothermal. I think geothermal is going to be a natural. We're spending a lot of time on it.
Have you ever gone out to the Oregon Tech geothermal plant?
Yeah.
And seen some of their research? What do you think about their operation?
I think it's great. I mean, they understood that geothermal was cool before practically anybody else.
You can always say I've been in hot water all my life, so that's one of the comments. But no, the trouble is educating people and what geothermal can do. Solar and wind gets all the publicity, and you see it because it's above ground. Geothermal, very few people understand it. In fact, we've only had one faculty member that even, myself included, that had an understanding of how to use geothermal. So that's the problem, is understanding it, how to use it, and as opposed to the other renewables.